And welcome back. Today marks 1 year since Russia began its invasion of Ukraine.
The U.S. is vowing to support Ukraine for as long as it takes. The Defense Department announcing a new $2 billion aid package. It includes more rounds for rocket launchers, more artillery ammunition, as well as drone and counter-drone equipment. In a recorded statement, the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskiy spoke directly to Russia, saying, quote, "Respect our right to live on our land, leave our territory, stop bombing us." Our Scripps News correspondent Jason Bellini is on the ground in Kyiv.
And our Tom Durian talked with him as we mark this devastating anniversary that has left thousands dead.
It has been 365 days since Russia invaded Ukraine. Millions of people have been forced to leave their country to avoid being caught in the crossfire, and so many others stayed to fight to save their homeland. Thousands of civilians, even more troops on both sides, have lost their lives. And Scripps News correspondent Jason Bellini has had boots on the ground, bringing us story after story from Ukraine and Poland since day one. He joins us now from Kyiv. Jason, let's talk about the attitude there in Ukraine. Has it changed in any way in the last year, maybe with President Biden from the U.S. visiting just recently?
Hi, Tom. Well, overall, I would say that the attitude has not changed. In fact, it seems like it's hardened. And that attitude is, we are going to win. That's what the Ukrainian people feel. We're determined to win at whatever the cost. There was a poll this last week I found really interesting. 90% of people here say that they are unwilling, that they don't think their country should compromise 1 inch of land to Russia, despite all the costs. And I won't go through the statistics, but you know the number of civilians, the number of children, and the number of soldiers that have been killed here. It's just been a merciless war, now entering its second year, Tom.
Yeah, so Jason, I mean, we talk about this like unending resolve that comes from the top down, for President Zelensky down to the people that you've been talking to for the last year. But I'm wondering just how much can they withstand? The casualties have been great, and some of the cities themselves have been destroyed.
Some cities have been destroyed and some have just been made unlivable. I was just in Kherson not that long ago, and yesterday you had a Russian attack on the pipeline that provides heat to 40,000 people. There's been just so much suffering endured by civilians, but you still don't hear people talking about giving up. You don't hear people talking about leaving. Unfortunately, right now, electricity has been pretty much restored here in the capital, Kyiv, but they know that that can change very quickly, that Russia could target the electrical infrastructure again, and they could be trying to live in a metropolitan area without lights on, without heat in the middle of winter. But I would say that there's enormous determination, no matter what. Keep on fighting, keep on supporting the people who are there on the front lines, fighting for them and who are dying on the front lines. You don't hear people questioning the costs, even a year into this.
You've been there, as we said, since the beginning. Is there any particular story that's sort of stayed with you that you've covered when talking to these folks on the ground?
So many. Well, one that's fresh in my mind is from just this past week when I visited an area that's very close to the front lines. There was this young woman named Yara that I wanted to meet, and so we traveled to her. She's a combat medic, and she's in the Bakhmut area. I mean, this is the most grisly area of all of Ukraine right now, and she showed me GoPro footage that she took of her treating her comrades right there on the front lines and bringing them out through the forest. They're having to haul them through the snow, having to go long distances, trekking them, carrying people out, trying to save their lives. You know, it's a race against time to save folks, and that is the daily reality there. And she says she's just become kind of numb to it, that she's, even though it only really affects her now when it's someone who's very close to her who's been injured or killed. And that's the effect that war can have on people over time, is that they just develop a certain numbness to it as a way of coping with the reality. But I don't think we really have a true sense. We're not able to, it's very difficult for us to convey what the level of misery and danger is there on the front lines right now. And I think the coming weeks, by all indications, are going to be perhaps more bloody than any we've seen before.
Yeah, it's hard for us sitting here in the United States to really understand what's happening there, but we appreciate your reporting. Jason Bellini, Scripps News correspondent from Kyiv, Ukraine. You can catch more of Jason's reporting on our sister network, Scripps News. Jason, stay safe. Thanks for being with us.